evil people that are in charge have that as one of their things that they want to roll out to the planet, is a fake alien invasion so that they can get everybody to realign behind a one world government. But people like myself are here to go, yeah, don't buy into that. It's bullshit. Just shoot at the aliens. Just shoot at them, kill them, ignore the government when they say don't do that, and we all have to turn together and abolish governments. Tell them to screw off. What's the word that Billy Connolly said? Oh yeah, tell them to fuck off, because off they will fuck. Right? That's the truth of it, bro. You have to look at it that way. So yeah, when COVID began, it was a cheer, because knowing that they were going to attempt what they were going to attempt, they tested that, and they were believing it was a test to see how many people actually react, so they know what they have to control. But what they didn't listen to was, in their Hegelian dialectic, was the fact that the realignment happens from that. So some people have gone beyond that and said that was the true test for the fake alien invasion that they have planned for the future. It wasn't to try and take over the world. It was to see if they could realign everybody against themselves. Who does that? Who's going to realign everybody against themselves just as a test? But it's possible, because anything's impossible. But it's not going to work, because the things are changing here. It's not going to work because they're up against me. Okay? They're up against me, and they think they're channeling me. Do you understand that? And me, and just like everybody like me. You, all of the angels and archangels that have come here. Okay? So Comedy Bar says, I have another question for Samael. How far away are we from, hold on, I got to open the last part of it, from entering the temporal age? And then it doesn't say the rest of it. It says where right? The future is known. Yeah, truly, that is beginning now. You're closer than you think. The plan is starting in 2026 through 2050 at the latest. If I'm understanding your question correctly, if you're talking about the Great Awakening by most of the humans, it's going to start on the 2,000-year anniversary of Jesus' death. So the timeline's shifting. So it may or may not be by the time it gets here, but 2026, right? Hold on, I have to do the little thing here. Sorry, I had to do the puzzle piece so they knew I wasn't a robot. So I apologize for that. So 2026, Easter of 2026, they're planning to do some craziness, right? But that's the activation that's going to start bringing that about 2027 through 2033, because the 2,000-year anniversary of the death and resurrection of the Christ is coming up in 27, 28, or 29, depending on where the timeline shifts to, because it's been shifting back and forth in the last 9 months. It's shifted. That Jesus' birth went from 7 BC to 3 BC back to 4 BC. So 33 years from that is 26, 27, 28, and 29. And it's fluctuating. So somewhere thereabouts is going to be the 2,000-year anniversary of the Christ. And when that comes to be, it's going to, and so the timelines that we're fixing is shifting that, and it's kind of moving it further out. We're trying to get it closer to 27, 28. So right now it's at 27. So the beginning of it is in 26, is in the resurrection time. So Easter 2026, feminine year, beginning of the cycle. 27, if nothing changes right now, will be the 2,000-year anniversary of the Christ death and resurrection. If something changes between now and 2027, it'll start shifting to 28 and 29, but we're looking at this 27, because the 7 is a masculine year, but it's also a 27, so it's actually a God year. So if it's not 27, it's got to be 28 or 29. But right now it's 2027 is the 2,000-year anniversary of the death and resurrection of the Christ on this earth. So 26 in the Easter is the beginning of the awakening, and 1 year to the day. You guys know how that works, right? 1 year and 1 day. So on the next Easter Sunday, Easter Friday, Good Friday to Monday, right? 2.5 to 60 hours, 3 days. We'll put it on that Sunday as the resurrection again. Okay. So if it stays exactly the way it is now, it'll be the same way that when he died, there was the earthquake and everybody saw. It'll be the same thing, and everybody will start waking up as supposed to. Okay. But when will humans start to predict the future events that are happening? Humans are already starting to do that, brother. You and I are just now talking about it right here. Oops, I hit that button and I didn't mean to bump the thing off. I should have left it alone. So yeah, so in time, people are already doing that. People are already starting to predict what's happening in time, brother. They have a computer that does the same thing. But do you mean like some of us are going to start coming out like I'm doing to talk more in front of people? I'm going to start coming out and I'm going to be doing larger events than I'm doing now because we are now starting to identify ourselves to the population. That's going to activate more and more people. And more people, as they activate, the people who came here to help are going to activate. So then more and more people are going to start seeing the future because they came here to have those abilities and have those abilities. I've been teaching people how to do that since I've been here on this earth. So it's everything's going to be exponentially starting in April of 2026 and end date being 2050. Okay. And some of us are pushing for 2033. Some of us are pushing really hard for 2033, 2038. But 2050 is the if no matter what we do, we're going to be 4D by 2050. Okay. There's going to be still 3D people that are not going to be able to be in 4D, but they're going to be living among us. And when they die, they'll be moved to another planet. So you're still going to see people you're going to look at and go, that guy's a Neanderthal. That guy's completely freaking asleep. But that's just the normal way things work, right? So I think more with quantum computing thought and technology. Well, yes, with that there was a movie that was called, what was it called? I can't think of the name of it. See, now I'm trying to pop into Leo and think of the name of the movie, Futureland or something like that, with with what's his name that was in the movie Dusk from Dusk Till Dawn. He was in that movie, and it was they tried to keep it off the air. They had the quantum computer that was predicting the end of the world at a certain time. That's based on the real computer that when they looked at the future here on Earth, they looked at the future. There's a time between 2033 and 2050, and between 2045 and 2050, where the internet goes dead. Okay. So in their minds, it's still that time period that's coming up. All right. So I don't know if that answers your question, but you should look that up. There's a time in the future that they saw in the past where all the chatter that they're tracking on the internet stops. So something happens. Well, that's prophecy that could happen. I'm not going to get involved in that right this second because I don't like talking about that on air because we're changing that, right? So I hope that does help. Okay. So the quantum computing is already happening, and they're already looking. The guys that are controlling that CERN, they're trying to look at that, but they're not the ones doing the Mandela effects. That's us that are doing that. They wish that they had that ability. That's us fixing the timelines, right? Einstein got stuck at the quantum entanglement. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. That's because he was very religious, and he decided not to. He didn't get stuck. He decided to not allow people to know what he was finding out. The same thing that Tesla did, the same thing that Da Vinci did, the same thing that Copernicus did. There have been great people in history that on this earth that actually uncovered things and decided that it was too much information for evil people to have. So they then said, oh, I made a mistake. I don't understand what's going on here. So yeah, you know what I mean? So, right? Yeah, you have to see that, right? So paranormal, powerful, right? Welcome. Hey, how you guys doing? Right? So yeah, do you guys want to know? Yeah. Yeah, do you guys want to know what's happening? What's going to happen? I can tell you Here, how about I tell you what your future is going to look like? Okay. There are people on this earth that have been telling you about the future of the human condition for thousands and thousands of years. You just haven't been listening to them, right? I'm in Australia right now. The Aborigines over here have been talking about it. When I was living in Arizona, the natives in Arizona were talking about it. They have the Hopi Indians in the Americas have the Hopi Rock legend, and the Aborigines in Australia know about that. They know about. Oh, are you talking about the quantum entanglement? Well, we can go down that road in a second too. So there's a shift in the timeline that everybody's worried about because there's this Armageddon fear that the bad guys are trying to get you to buy into so that you will then manifest the Armageddon because they're trying to get the AI to take control. And if AI takes control of everybody and you get all the implants, then it's more like the Matrix. And they're hoping to do that because you have to remember that the evil people are still trying to lower the population down to less than 1 million people if they can do it. Right? So when you look into the future, there's two different societies. You have a societal structure that is mostly Borg, mostly AI controlled, and the population is very low. Then you have the other timeline where as we're going now, we get a hold of AI and go, yeah, no, AI is just kind of there. We'll use it for what we want to use it for, but we're not letting it take control of everything. And the population of the Earth has 12 billion people on it. Okay. So there are some changes that, right? So what is it that Maddie says, the seventh fire, and then I'm going to go look at what you were saying, Comedy Bar. The seventh fire prophecy also talks about two paths. Yes. So we'll come back to that. Let me circle back to that, Maddie. I'm not going to ignore you. I just want to see what Comedy Bar, because we were in the middle of talking, and then I'll get back to getting on to what you're talking about there, right? So it's one photon that partially tunnels through space-time. Yeah, so if you guys don't know physics, listen to what Comedy Bar is talking about, right? So their counterparts, the quantum entanglement, you can read what he's saying here. They're still trying to work on that, the quantum entanglement, where you have, you guys should look on it. I was in physics in college, and I also did the same thing and said these people don't need to know about some of this, so I stopped. They were trying to recruit me, right? So now let's go back, because Samael wants to answer this question, right? So the seventh fire prophecy also talks about two paths. There are two paths. You're absolutely right. So there's more than just two groups of people that have been talking about this on this earth. There are two paths for the human condition to go into, and it's always been that way. If you're self-serving and you believe and you live in fear and you let them convince you that this is the way the world is coming to an end and it's the Armageddon, we're all going to die, you're going to end up moving into that, and you're like, I want all the implants and the AI controlling my body, and you run down that path. You're going to go into that timeline. We're showing you with the timeline shifts that they call the Mandela effect. So know for a fact that that's us that is doing that. Okay, this is Samael speaking to you now. This is not Leonard speaking to you. Okay, we are fixing and rewriting the history here and the timeline shifts that you guys remember that these people call Mandela effects. Those of you who remember them, you're supposed to be remembering them because you have come here to help these people and you remember both timelines. And there's many of them. Okay, just in the last 45 years, there have been hundreds that we have done. We're fixing things and we're writing this planet. And as we're doing that, the timeline is shifting. And as it's shifting, if you have, what is this? It says live restricted for some audiences. So I've said too much, so I can't do anything about that, right? Your live contains themes that may be uncomfortable and it's restricted. So it's violation warnings. Hopefully I'm still live, right? Let's see if I'm still live. If not, they're restricting me, so I got to be careful. Can you guys still see me? Somebody please let me know if I'm still live, because I said too much about the deep state. Yeah, I'm still live. Okay, so I just got a restriction warning because I've said too much about truth. Okay, so I have to back off of that and stay away from saying certain things. All the information that I'm talking to you about is for entertainment purposes only. Because if I don't start saying that, we need the algorithms to back off. So I just got two warnings. because some of the information that I just said to you was too sensitive for some viewers to understand, right? If it's for children and they're upgrading me to an adult conversation, I'm okay with that, right? And that may be just what just happened. I don't know because I didn't actually put this just for adults. So, but if you guys can still see me out there and you guys can still hear me, then we're doing okay, right? Typical. I know, right, Maddie? Typical. Okay, so I didn't even know that they did that. Yes, they do. You have to be careful what you say when you're on a live. If I say too much about those people who the powers that should not be, if I say those words too many times, then I did that on my first live, and they actually deleted or they actually kicked me off my live and warned me. And then here's something that was hilarious. Right now, this is Leo talking to you, Leonard talking to you. I reposted one of my videos reposted a video that I posted a year ago on TikTok. I reposted it all over the internet and on TikTok, and they actually took my video down and said it went against their guidelines. And I was like, this video is on every platform already, right? This video is on every platform already. So what are you guys doing? You guys need to review this. And then after I sent that in, I looked and went, this video is on TikTok and been sitting there for a whole year. I just reposted it. It's actually still there. I didn't repost it. I posted it again, right? So I was about to type that in the next day, and they uplifted it, and I was like, yeah, they must have looked at my stuff and went, oh, look, he's already had it up for a year. So the stuff they do is an algorithm, and the algorithm does things automatically, right? So I said too much just now about prophecy, I guess, or about the powers that should not be. Somewhere in the content, they decided that my content was either that or some troll was in here and reported it, saying that my content was, I'm making it up. Or it could have been. Usually when I talk about religion, they like to come after me too, because you have to remember that TikTok is mostly owned by the Chinese, who are communists, and they do not allow religion. The Communist Party and socialist parties do not allow religion. You can't have spirituality, you can't have religion. It's the first thing they remove. Okay, so I don't want to go down that road and get all into that, right? So change the speed slightly. That can work. Thanks, right? Thanks, brother. Change the speed of my cadence. Slow it down maybe, right? When I'm talking, that can change it, right? Is that what you're saying? Change the speed slightly? Yeah, so we'll see. So maybe I should slow down and not talk so fast, or maybe I should just fluctuate. I need to choose better words when I'm speaking. That's all I need to do. Okay. So, but thank you for that, Elf. Thanks, brother. So let me get back on track, right? Let me get back on track because here we have Averell, right? And Azrael, another entity that is from above the archangels, who has archangel energy. We are here. Now this is Samael talking to you. We are among you. We have come among you. You're hearing people announce that the archangels are here. Whether these people like it or not, we're changing the face of this world, and we're fixing it, and we're resetting the balance, because it's time. The way things work is that this is a college, this is a school that you're in, and you're supposed to be ascending, and you're supposed to learn how to find your higher self, right? And then become I think, from I think, therefore I am, to I am, therefore I think. When a place gets stuck and stays stuck, then we send people down to come in and help. When that doesn't help fast enough, those of us that are even higher will come in to fix it. Okay, so we're here now to fix this place. So fear not, okay? Fear not. We are here and we are waking up. So Comedy Bar asked, when is the mass awakening? It's happening. You see people starting to tell you that they are higher being, or that they are archangels. Some people are making up some weird names, right? But you have to remember that not every archangel's name that you know of is the only ones that are here. There are archangels that you guys didn't get in your history because they were off doing something else somewhere else, and they were a legend on another world that was third dimension in their religions, because we don't all show up to one place. Okay, so there's, in this sector of the Milky Way galaxy, The evil people that came and took control of this sector took control of 23 solar systems that were in third dimension. So 22 other groups of people who were other beings had other religions with their archangels. Those people's names are known on other planets. Some of them, because all of the planets but two have been freed. All of the planets have been freed by the captors. But there's still a mop up going on of the knowledge and the damage that they did. This planet, because it was one of the hardest schools, anyways, got extra stuck. Okay, because this one was a volunteer basis. So this one was already really stuck. And then when the information got here and they got stuck, it got stuck. So a lot of the people are now coming, all these archangels with names that you guys don't know are coming down here because you've never heard of them because they didn't need to be here in the religion, so they're not part of that. My name, Samael, is one of them. The Christians and the Hebrews don't know who I am, but the Arabs, they do, okay? They know who I am. I am the angel of death. I am also the angel of life. I am also the angel of demons, okay? Because I play multiple roles, just like every archangel does. They all have a counterpart that is evil, that is an aspect of themselves. You guys haven't learned that yet, but I can tell you that, except for on TikTok, I guess. Because it might be just adult. I'll have to find out exactly what that was. I had to hit OK twice. Okay. There was something and then something else that said that I had a warning because of my content was not great for all viewers. So it might have been that I should have checked the box that said the content we're going to be talking about was adult. And I know that there is a tick for that. I just didn't check it. So next time I'll check that box so that we don't have that. And if that's all it is, I'm not going to complain, right? It's just the way it is, right? We are not always straight away, right? What is that? She's answering, oh, do you recognize others? Yes. We don't always, yes, thank you, Brooke. We don't always straight away because because sometimes they've come in undercover and we have to see their eyes or hear them speak. But usually if they're letting people know who they are, even if they haven't said it out loud, then we can see that, right? And we can instantly, like if you look at I have to say his name right? Azrael and Avril. If you look at Azrael, Brooke was flicking through and saw him and went, "Come here, look." And he was talking, whatever that was, a couple weeks ago, and he was talking, and we just popped in, and he was letting people know that he was a higher being that also had archangel energy. He was the being above the archangel and an archangel in a different aspect, and he was down here to help. And we immediately jumped on and were like, brother, look, but I didn't tell him who I was. I haven't until now. He comes in here and he'll know this. I didn't tell him who I was, but I let him know that he was Patal, and that we acknowledged that he was one of the first. Right? And that's above the archangels. He was one of the first. We were the first, and then we were also archangels, and then the angels were third to be created. So in this place, now you have us beings that are even higher than archangels who are coming here. But when I say that to people down here, they're like, there is nothing above the archangel. Some people know about that and some people don't, right? But when I say that I'm Archangel Samael, they go, there's no Archangel Samael. Yes, there is. Do you know who the angel of death is? Same guy, doing a different job. Okay. But there are people on this earth, like, Brooke says, they don't know who I am on this planet. I'm like, no, baby, but you're a legend on another planet. They know who Lilith is. Right, so they know the Lilith, but she's an archangel. But you guys don't know that. Well, no, she's the queen of the devils or queen of the demons. Yeah, that's an archangel. She's just working on the dark side, right? So what you don't know is that her counterpart is Satori. You don't know that name on this planet because Satori isn't in any of your religions. Because Satori was on a different planet to where she got to be named, but she came down here with me because we came down here to fix this place. But there are places out there who go, ooh, Satori, Archangel Satori. Down here, everybody's got an L after their name because it means like God. That was created down here. My name is Kelto, okay? but Samael is the archangel, right? So why are both Azrael and Samael associated with being angels of what? Angels of darkness? Is that what you're saying? I don't see the last part. Angels of death. Um, it is depending on, it's like the Metatron. The Metatron is not one angel. The Metatron is many angels who fill in for the voice of God that will come down to earth. There are different ones who, because the Jesus was the Word of God, so Metatron is the Word of God. So is Jesus Metatron? In some aspects, Jesus is Metatron, but Metatron is also another angel. So the angel of death, depending on what planet we're on, what area we're in, will have a different name. So you have Azrael and you have Samael, depending on the memory of the people. Do you understand that? So like the Hebrews and the Christians know that aspect as a different name, but the people that are from the farther east, mid to far east, they know Samael. And if you look at the two of them in the aspects that they you will see that they're interchangeable in their aspects. So it's a cultural name that has changed, but it's a person that also plays that role. So there are many people who play the role of the angel of death, right? I don't care what you call that. You can call that the angel of death or the grim reaper. But how many people do you? I mean, think about that. That's like Santa Claus. Let's get into that, right? That's like Santa Claus. Okay. So how many people do you think die every second on this earth? And do you think that Samael can race around the planet and collect everybody instantly all at the same time? That I wouldn't have any time to do anything else. Do you understand that? That's what there was a TV series in America. I don't know how long ago it was, 10, 15 years ago, where the angel of death came down and recruited people to work with him to help because there's a population is so vast. But in our respect, it's because you have different angels that are coming here, archangels that are coming here from other planets, and some of the people that have been here were on these other planets, and they remember Samael as the angel of death, and they remember Azrael. Is it Azrael down here as the angel of death? So yeah, fractals again, family reunion, right? Azrael family reunion. So Azrael and Samael, because Azrael is the angel of death that was assigned here, and I'm the angel of death who came here because I got done where I was. But some of the people that are here now came from there, and they remembered that, and those people culturally are in the east, whatever direction that is from where I'm sitting. So my name is now known here because I've entered into here. So some people remember me only in the aspect of the demon lord Samael, not an angel on this earth, because that memory is now, the duality of now is expanding since I've come here. Do you see? So as you come here, you have a footprint, and if anybody remembers you from a higher plane when they come here, so some people, not everybody that's here on earth, 86%, maybe a little bit more these days, of the souls that are here are not from this earth and indigenous here. So the memory of the angel of death on the Hebrew side goes back, 4,000 years. Do you see? But there are people that are here from other planets that they died in 3D and came here because this one was the nearest third dimensional planet, and they have echoes of the memory. Just like you have Aborigines in Australia who remember more than one destruction of this earth because their soul was here for that, right? All people need to be collected to ascend to angels upon death too. Yes, when you die, this is the way it works. Soul that is in your body gets released. You have someone come guide you, and you guys know that person as that angel as the angel of death, because the angel comes and takes the soul from the body to help you find your way to the place of healing and then the place of reflecting. Okay, so they come and help guide you to get you there because you're confused. A lot of people are still think that they're that same person, that personality still. So some people come out and they immediately remember who they are. Some people don't. So they come out, they don't know what to do, and they get kind of lost. Sometimes they get lost If somebody doesn't catch them fast enough, they'll be stuck on Earth and they get lost. Okay, so someone has to come and grab them and then say, "Come with me," and then take them to the place of reflecting or healing first. You go to the place of healing, and then you're there, and your guides, your family that you recognize are there for you, your higher self, and everybody goes, "You're okay. It's okay. You're all right. No, you're not alive anymore. You're okay though. You're all right. Are you okay?" And then they wait until you go, "Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, yeah. No, I know what's going on now." And then they go, "Okay, let's go to the place of reflecting." And then you move to the place of reflecting, and then you look at the life that you were just in, and you go, "Did you learn everything that you were supposed to learn?" And then you're honest at that point. You're not going to lie to yourself. And you go, "Okay, I learned these things, but I still need to learn this, and I didn't get that right, and I want to re-experience that again." And now you start designing your new life, right? So every soul has to be collected. I know that was a long story to get there, but every soul has to be collected just in case. Come with me. Let's come over here. You're okay. Then you have people down here that are saying, "Run from those people because they're evil and they're going to zap your immortal soul and they're going to mind wipe you and put you back in the prison of a human body." Or run from the don't go into the light because that light is going to zap you and or they're going to tell you you're on a secret mission and it's all a lie. Run. Those people are actually misguided, and they're trying to get you to try and wake up while you're dying or dead and then run for your life because they don't want you coming back. That's why they're telling you that, right? Do people need? Oh, that's the same one. Yeah. So yeah, that's literally what you have people saying now. A lot of the ancient aliens people, or the people that follow that kind of stuff. I created Ancient Aliens. Leonard created Ancient Aliens Worldwide, the group on Facebook, which has got 300,000 members worldwide in it, right? So let's see, did I miss anybody? Oh, Comedy Bar said, "Do people need?" Oh, I already answered that. Raven said, "So is incarnation eternal? Is incarnation eternal?" So yeah, your immortal soul is eternal, if that's what you're asking. Incarnation in a human body is not eternal. It only works if that's what you're asking, right? So your soul is created by the Creator. It's a fractal. I love Israel's fractal. You guys are learning about fractals on Earth now. It's a fractal. It's a fraction, a piece of the Creator that is broken off from the Creator as an individual and given a personality. That is forever until you start to merge with collectives. Okay? Your personality that is you, if it's your higher self, and you know who that is and you've ascended to that, that is forever until you decide to go back to the Creator. Okay? The one that is you now is anchored somewhere between halfway through the sixth density and the end of the seventh density. That's your higher self. That one is different than your higher self. Like Samael from Kelto. Kelto was one of the original. Samael's an archangel. Okay, so you have a higher self, then you have a higher self, then you have a higher self, then you have the Creator. Okay, so what happens down here is you're the individual, and you start to learn collective down even at this low level, and then you move up. You go from planet in the solar system to the consciousness of the Milky Way galaxy, and you're an individual in the Milky Way galaxy. Then eventually you start merging with the Milky Way galaxy collective consciousness. And so you have the Milky Way galaxy, and then you have the consciousness of the solar systems. Okay? Then you go from that to the Milky Way galaxy to the consciousness of that, and you'll merge with that, and you'll lose your independence. But the independent mind will be the Milky Way galaxy. Okay? Then the Milky Way galaxy will then start in being in the collective of the universe and know the other galaxies as individual consciousnesses. And then eventually you'll merge in your consciousnesses into one galaxy, one universe. And then the multi-universes will then know each other as a consciousness and interact with one another until they go and merge back to the Creator or the ether and then the creator. I don't know if that makes sense. Is that too much? Do people need to be collected and ascend angel of death too? Yes, I answered that. Um, so I don't know if that, so incarnation usually on this planet is referred to being down on the planet in a body. So that would be only for the length of the life of the body, unless you're saying incarnation in the soul. I hope I answered that question, Raven. If I didn't, please ask for a clarification, and I will go further with that. Just let me know if that answered what you were asking, because I'm not 100% sure what you were asking right there. I think because incarnation usually means carnate body incarnation. It's not forever. It's only for one lifetime. I've been on this earth since I've come back. I've been here 30 lifetimes. Okay. So I go, figure out how many lifetimes. The average life expectancy is about 60 years or 55 years. Go 55, times 30, and that'll tell you how many thousands of years approximately that I've been just on this earth in a little different person's body every time. And I've been with Brooke the whole time. How many times do people reincarnate usually? The way it's supposed to work, when you come into when you come down to, say, you're a first or second dimensional being, when you're a second dimensional being, you become self-aware. Wherever you are in the multiverse, you become self-aware. Then when you become self-aware, I think, therefore I am, whatever you are at that time when you die, from however you die from, you have the choice to move up to third dimension. Okay. So when you move into a third dimensional being on this earth, it happens to be human, and a few other things that people don't like to hear about, like a couple of primates and dolphin and whale, a couple of those Sasquatches, Bigfoot things, 3 of them, a couple of grays, and some other aliens that live inside the earth that doesn't exist. Anyway, so normally it takes for you to go through the progression of third dimensional beingness of I think, therefore I am, to I am, therefore I think, and moving into 4D and 5D, takes 7 to 10 lifetimes on average. Okay. So all things being equal, you should never be here more than 10 lifetimes. Right? And you guys have been stuck here, unless you've come here to help. If you haven't, then you've been stuck here since the changeover, and that was the calamity of 77,000 years ago. Okay? There was a collapse of the global empire that was here, and all the souls were then harvested and moved off the planet, and there was a reset. And you have the people of South Africa, Madagascar, what you guys call Norway today, and what you guys call Australia. Those groups of people probably were about 600,000 humans, and the global empire that is here today came out of all 3 of those. Okay, so let's see, what did I miss? For Leo and I, last time we were here on Earth, we need to move to the next to help. Oh, you guys are talking amongst yourselves. All right, Brooke, I didn't know what you were saying there. Let's see. So why would someone be here for 400 lifetimes? If you are a wanderer normally and you come to help people, because sometimes it takes a long time, depending on when there's certain cycles for the calling, the graduation cycles of every third dimensional, fourth dimensional, fifth dimensional planet. And those are scaled at 77 to 128,000 year cycles. So the last one lasted about the same. It lasted about 77,000 cycles. So it goes back like almost 145,000 years was 2 cycles. Okay. So if the planet has a 77,000 year cycle, and somebody comes to help them because they've gotten stuck, they'll sign on to come down for 77,000 years or graduation. Fix the planet, then you can leave, or leave with the planet when the next culling happens. So if they miss the window, this planet missed the window. So it wasn't supposed to go 77,000 years. So it went 77,000 years. and there was the changeover, and it was supposed to be a shorter one because it's a harder planet. It was supposed to be a shorter one, but it's gone past that. So now people have come to help. So when you come down, you don't come down in the current. It's really bizarre how this works, but to fix a planet, if you come to help, you don't come in the planet right at the time and start forward. You go back to where the cycle began and you come in there and come with it. Some of us go further back so that we can come in. So you sign on for either 77,000 years or 128,000 years. Some of us take the 128,000 years because when you're outside of time, when you're in your higher self, there is no time. Time only exists down here linearly. Okay. So up there, you're outside of time. So for us out there, it's just now, right? So 128,000 years, you have to be patient because you have to move into time. So my wife and I came in with a bunch of us who came down here, and we signed on for 128,000 years. So when I told you that we were here for 30 lifetimes, that was in human form. We were here before that. We've been here for 129,000 years now, staying. We came in and we were plants and rocks and we were wolves at one time. I was an eagle at one time. I was a raven at another time. We came in because when you come back as a wanderer or a walk-in, your vibration is from a higher plane of existence. When you come into a body, the body that you come into is set for a person that is in third dimension for the first time. Your vibration of your immortal soul is coming from a very high place. It resonates at a different frequency. This body can't support that life. It doesn't resonate right. This place recognizes your vibration is not supposed to be here, and it starts to screw up the matrix. Your body will have problems. We have problems now. Okay, people who come from a higher plane and come down here, they have autoimmune problems. They have all kinds of things that go wrong with their body because their body is out of phase with the soul. It doesn't fit. The body doesn't understand that because it's just doing what it's told. It's an avatar. So you're occupying it and it's vibrating at the wrong level and you don't fit right. And it's trying to reject you and you're holding it in place. And so it creates problems within the DNA. Okay. So some of us know we're going to be here for a long time in these bodies. So what we do is we come in earlier and we go through the whole shebang to get here, right? So full circle says let it screw the matrix up with, right? So is that what you're saying? So let it screw the matrix up. Well, yes and no, but here's the thing, okay? We don't want to we don't want to screw the matrix up because we're trying to restore balance, brother. So if we screw up the matrix, we're changing something down here without permission. We're supposed to allow people to get to a certain level of consciousness. Then we can identify ourselves and say, look, don't worry, it's all over. We're here to help you. Okay, so we don't want to screw up the matrix. We want to work within the matrix. If we're self-serving, we don't care. We'll just come down here and screw shit up. That's what happened to get these people stuck. Those of us who are in service to others, we're coming down here like a duck blind. We're coming down here and we want the matrix to trust us. So we go in and come in as if we're one-dimensional beings, then two-dimensional beings, and then we come into third-dimensional beings. So the matrix itself, Gaia, the planet, the name of this planet, Gaia, then is used to us. And we fit better. So we fit better in these bodies, and then we don't have as many problems. And we can also stay undercover longer because most of us came here to be under cover of darkness so that evil people couldn't find us. And evil people are looking for us, so we are hidden from even them. And then we wake up when we're supposed to. And by the time we wake up, we have surrounded us people that can teach us and learn what we need to learn so that they can't harm us any longer. So if we mess up the matrix, we put it's a tremor in the force, they said from Star Wars, right? If you saw those movies, brother, they're tremor in the force. And then Darth Vader can recognize that Luke Skywalker is nearby. Okay, that's what happens when you don't hide properly and you don't veil. The fact that the Sith Lord was able to hide from the Jedi because the Sith Lord went native. Okay? The Sith Lord went native. If you read the books, you know that. The Sith Lord went native, and they couldn't see him until he exposed himself. And then they were like, where did this guy come from? Do you remember that dichotomy in the movies? If you read the books, it was a little more obvious, right? So you don't want to mess up the matrix unless you're trying to let them know who you are. You boom, you create that earthquake. That reverb goes out, and then people will turn and look at you like in Lord of the Rings when they would touch the ring or put it on, Sauron's eye would turn towards it. You get the attention of the people that you don't want to get the attention of. Okay. I was aware of all this, and when I said this, I'm aware of all this. I said with a heart, right? So, okay, well, I don't know if you're talking to me because it looks like you were talking to Brooke as well, right? So, hi, by the way, full circle, welcome in. Um, so it's taken a long time. So some of us went very native, okay, and we did that so that we could blend in better and the matrix would accept us, and then we could be undercover better until we were not supposed to be undercover. The time of being undercover is over, and it is now time for those of us who have come here to help to allow ourselves to be known. I have been told that for about 4 years, and I was resisting it because I wanted to make sure that it was proper time. But now this is why you're hearing other people going, I'm an archangel and I'm here to help. And people are getting annoyed with us when we say that. You're not an archangel. You can't be. You don't know what you're talking about. You're making this shit up. Okay. You can believe that if you want. I know what's happening here, and I can tell you what's happening here, and you don't have to believe me. I'm not here to be your savior. Right? Full circle. Yes. Right? Full circle. Right? Yeah. Like Ezreal says, yeah, they do. Right? They do. Yeah. Right? So some people will say that you don't know what you're talking about, and you just got to go, okay, right? In your mind, I don't, and I'm making it up. That's okay. You can believe that because I'm not the Christ. I'm not here to be your savior. I'm here to help you whether you like it or not. I'm going to take you kicking and screaming into the next level. And those of you who are not ready, when you die, you're not going to remember me anyways. Okay? When you die, you're going to go up there and go, wow, that was really cool, man. I met some archangels. I know. Let's design your next life, and we're going to move you to the next nearest third dimensional planet. And sorry, brother, you're going to get veiled again. Okay. Then you're going to go to another planet. You're not even going to remember having this conversation. You're not even going to remember the planet Earth because the third dimension isn't supposed to be supported right now. Third dimensional life is no longer supposed to be supported by this planet. This planet has moved into the next phase. So fourth dimensional life forms, beginning of fifth dimension, and eighth dimensional life forms with 1 and 2 are the only life forms on this planet that are supposed to be here. Third dimensional life is no longer supposed to be here. So for those people who are new to this planet, who got shipped here because they came from another planet or they're indigenous to here and moved up to 3D, this will be the last lifetime you guys will be on Earth, and you won't remember it anyways. So I can tell you that. Right? And you can think I'm crazy. I don't care what you think, right? You'll know it when you die. You'll go, wow, that dude really was an archangel. He was talking to me about this. And, oh, I got to design my life now, and then I'm going to move to the other planet, right? So we can always send you, we can always send you emergency. You will fit in, right? You will feel it. It depends on what you're talking about. I'm not sure what you're saying, Brooke. You're talking to somebody, right? We can always send you energy. Oh, energy. I'm sorry. And you'll feel it. Yes. Right. So I apologize. I'm trying to read and putting on my glasses, and I'm moving from Samael to Leonard while I'm reading because I see it's my wife, and I'm moving and reading it, and I read the word wrong. So yes. Right. Yeah. Look, anybody, you can ask anybody who's had a Reiki session from me when I've done that, right? So that comes easier anyway as you work through your shit. Observation mode, right? Observation mode and awareness, right? That comes easier. Yeah, agreed, right? So yeah, I mean, as you go through your own stuff, things change anyway. Observation mode and awareness makes us know. Yeah. So as you do that, right? Are we insane when we design our lives? That's no. Okay, yeah, Maddie, no. But I joke about it. We all joke about that because what the hell was I thinking? We say that even those of us, right? I mean, literally, I am an archangel, and even we will look at each other and go, "Were we drunk when we said yeah to this? What were we thinking?" Right? It's the same thing. So, how much longer? Until everybody will know the truth? That's happening now. Trump 85. I love that. Right? That's starting to happen now. Okay, so between now, Comedy Bar asked this earlier. Between now and 2050, everything's going to change. We're shooting for between now and 2032, 2033. By 2050, this entire world is going to be completely different than this, and some of you won't even remember this world being the way it is now. Okay, um, so yeah, so where is the wings, right? Well, if you look at the picture on the screen, you can see them there. You can't see them here. I'm channeling inside of this human body. This human body is Leonard O'Neill, and I'm talking, but you know, I can send myself to you. How about I send myself in your mind's eye, and I'll show you what I look like. It's going to look a little bit like this, unless you don't want to see the angel of death aspect of me. And I'll send that, and you can feel the wings, and you can see the wings, unless you're completely in 3D. And if you're completely in 3D, you're going to go, yeah, nothing, bro, right? But yeah, and then I'll come to you while you're sleeping tonight. So when you have a dream, if you see the angel of death, don't fear. I'm not there to take you. And if you see Samael in my actual guise, I'm not going to tell you this what I'm going to look like. Maybe I should, but then you could say I planted the thought into your head, right? So maybe I shouldn't do that, right? So Maddie, yeah, so we all think that you. And here's the thing, Maddie. Getting back to what Maddie was saying, what was I thinking when I designed this life? This is a school that is the hardest school to graduate from in the Milky Way galaxy. You volunteered for this because you've already gone through this. So every soul that's here has already gone through all of this. Whether you're in service to self and evil, or whether you're in service to others and good, you've already graduated the third dimension, and you decided that you're a badass. So you're like the Navy SEALs or whatever, and you've decided I'm going to go and take the really hard course and volunteer to go deep, deep in the veiling and get out. And then this place got stuck, right? So it made it even worse. But you designed this. Yes, none of this is happening to you. It's all happening for you. Trump says, that's way too long. We always knew the truth. Most people do. 86% of the people are not from here either. 86% of you on this earth came here to help. That's why the population explosion, go back in time to 1981, there was 2.7 billion souls on the earth. There are currently 8 billion. Okay, the majority of you came here to actually experience this awakening that you're in. This is the last lifetime you're going to have to be in unless you die today. If you die today, you might be born again. Okay? So everybody that's dying now, that dies between now and when everything changes, they're either going to come right back, or they just signed on to be close to the end and they were like, woo, no, I'm not going to go back. Most of you are going to come back again because you wanted to experience this. Some of you are here for the first time, not as a first time soul, but you're coming down to graduate because you want to see what it's like for this change, because it's a different way that we're upgrading people instead of blowing up the planet, right? Indigo children, yes. Indigo children, star seed, there's different names for each generation in the past 45 years that are the new group that has come in, right? So it depends on what you know, right? Maddie, I keep hearing that. Yeah, none of this is happening to you, Maddie. It's all happening for you. You volunteered for this. It's okay. It's hard. This is the hardest place. It's hard for me. I'm a fucking archangel. It's not easy. Ask Brooke. Ask my wife, who's also an archangel. This is not an easy place. This place is the hardest place in this galaxy to go through. This shit's hard, man. But you know what? When you're done from here, you're going to go up there and people are going to look at you different. They're going to look at you and go, you went to Terra. You went to Earth. You're going to go, yeah, I sure did, man. They're going to go, what was it like? And you're going to go, it was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. And they're going to go, I would never do that. And you're going to go, that's why no one will remember your name. Okay? It's like when Hercules was sitting there and the little boy came and he had to go and fight, what was his name? Pythagoras, I think was his name. And the little boy came and said that there's this man who's the biggest man I've ever seen. I would never fight him. And he said, that's why no one will know your name. No one knows that kid's name. We will become as babies again. Yeah, when you move up, when you're done here, you'll go there and then you'll go back to where you started from. So depending on where you are, where you came here to from, you'll go back to that place. Okay, so if you're fourth dimension, fifth dimension, sixth dimension, seventh dimension, you'll go back there. If you're an angel, an archangel, or above that, you'll probably go on to another planet to do this again. Okay, so you might not want to go, I want to be an archangel, because if you are, this is what we do. Okay, I am the Patal. This is what we do. We do this. We go from stuck place to stuck place because God asked us to. We go there and we get it stuck in one aspect, then we come there and help get it unstuck in another aspect. Why do we do that? Someone says to me. Why do we do that? Okay. We do that because someone needs to, so that there's an example, good and bad, right? Why would you go and get yourself mind wiped and join and come into a body legally and be born in a place where you're veiled and you don't even know that who you are? Because 10% of the population here will see that I and everyone else like me did this. So when they get to a higher plane, 10% of those people will come back and do the same thing. They'll come back and sacrifice to come down to help people. And that's how it works all the way back to Creator. You have people that are helping. You do it now. You have fish, you have dogs, you have cats, you have birds, you have plants. You talk to them, you give them names, you call them names. That is expanding their consciousness and making them self-aware faster. If they lived in the wild, it would take them longer to become self-aware. They live as a domestic house cat or a dog, and you call them a name, they become aware of that. They become self-aware faster. You're helping a lower being, just like someone did to you. So I didn't see that, Brooke. Can you repin that, because the thing like clicked up, and either that or you took it off. I didn't see it. There was something that was pinned, and I didn't get to see what it was. So we can't really die. Your immortal soul never dies, my friend. Your immortal soul is forever and it will never die. It cannot die. It cannot be destroyed. It can be damaged. It can be damaged. The nuclear explosions that you have, thermonuclear explosions that you have on this earth, and other thermite explosions that other people do that are electromagnetic in their waveform, causes damage to the neural pathways of the creator's mind. Like when you have like a headache or a migraine headache inside your brain, and it's an electric it's a like a storm on the neural network of your brain, right? So you have to realize that the universe is a brain cell inside the creator. So the neural pathways that are there are what we travel on to go from one place to another without moving through time. So communication goes there in the same way that your ganglia cells, your glia cells, and your neural network in your brain works. The universe works the exact same way: as above, so below; as within, so without. So thermonuclear, anything that is electromagnetic waveform in its static, when you're exploding the atoms and you're creating a new big bang, you're basically creating that energy. That energy reverbs down those neural pathways of the universe, and the souls that are in direct contact with that are in human form, the soul gets out of phase, and the people have to go to a place of healing where they have to actually heal the soul. Soul can't die, but it can be damaged. I don't know if that is what you were asking.